Morning guys, happy belated Father's Day because it's Father's Day today, but I know this video won't be going out for a few days. So by the time you watch this, you'll probably already have seen me, hopefully, on Father's Day because we're doing a live stream this afternoon, or noon today. But just thought I'd bring you with me today, with it being Sunday, as we go around doing our bits and bobs. It's a really weird morning this morning. It's Father's Day, so it's been a great morning in some respects, and it's been a bit of a poo morning in other respects. I've already got some lovely presents. My daughter bought me 2 new collars for the goats because, well, I'll tell you all about why we need new collars for the goats actually while I'm putting them on them a little bit later. And my wife bought me some seedlings. You can't go wrong with seedlings, can you? So yeah, great morning in that respect. But just after she delivered the seedlings, she also delivered the news that our ride-on mower has gone pop. We're not sure the extent of how badly, but obviously if you've been following me a little while, you'll know the problems that come up when it's out of action for any length of time. So we're going to go and have a look at that shortly. I've got my elderflower cordial here, which we started yesterday, so I'm going to strain that out and then we'll probably head outside. And there's quite a bit I want to get done today. We'll bring you along all the way through it. I'll catch up with you guys when I get outside, I think. So we're on our way out to go and look at the mower and see where we are. It's a little bit damp today. I think where we're going to be, where I'm going to be looking at the mower, I'm going to be led down on the grass. So not sure that's going to be too much fun, but we'll see how we get on.
My expert opinion.
Do you want me to get you some sellotape?
And masking tape. There's no point pulling it out because we won't know where it goes, will it?
Well, we'll have to pull it out so I can get another one.
We need to know where it is.
I can see it goes from there to there. It's easy.
Okay.
So we know what the problem is. That's half the problem. And that's the other half.
But what made it do
The belt snapped in 2 places. Get it? Did you get it?
Right, Brian.
So it's the main drive belt that drives the deck. So
It's not as bad
Most-
as it could have been.
no, mostly good news. I mean,
For me it is.
once we've had the bad news that the tractor's broke, this is about as good as it gets,
Yeah.
because we can just,
We can do it.
get a new belt and change it ourselves. And we've actually done this once before. Now,
Have we?
yeah, we have. Yeah, this exact belt we've changed once
Oh, that's
before.
all right then. It was really, really hard.
Yeah, so the downside is it was a real pig.
We nearly killed ourselves.
Yeah, we did. We nearly killed ourselves. And as always, because we're married and we love each other very much, we almost fell out irreconcilably throughout the process.
We've fallen over quite a few fixes of this mower.
Yeah,
It's tested us.
but we get there, don't we?
And we're still here and we're still mowing.
Yeah, we are. We're still mowing. The machine's still going. So because it's Sunday, there's nowhere open. But what I did find out last time is that ordering one of these online for me is a mistake. Is a stupid.
It's like most things you order.
Like most things I order is something I should not do, and certainly not repeat. So this is actually going to be okay, because the last time, and I'm sure I documented this when I was doing it, but the last time this went wrong, it took us about 2 weeks to fix it, because I ordered one online, the wrong thing came, sent that back, ordered another one, the wrong thing came, and then at the end of this 2 weeks, and I drove to several places, can you help me? And then at the end of this, I found out that there's actually a John Deere dealership 5 minutes away, a 5-minute drive away, and they've got them in stock, or at least they did on that occasion. So they're not going to be open today, I don't think. I will quickly just check on Google and check that they're not open today, but I'm going to assume they're not. And I'll be able to just pop there tomorrow and they'll have them on the shelf, and if they haven't, then they can get them in within a day or two. So I'm not going to go so far as to say the whole entire project is good news, but it's definitely a lot better than it could have been, isn't it, love?
100%.
So, and look, my beautiful wife got me this piece of felt to sit on, and lay on so that I didn't get all wet. She heard me she heard me complaining about the damp grass and being a bit miserable, and she took care of it for me.
Now get off it so I can look and see if there's anything else. See if there's something stuck.
Roger. Well, it's got baler twine
string.
that you've got it all round there. So I think really we need to take these off. Once you get the deck off, it's easy, and I think we've got to take the deck off to put that new belt on. What we've got, I don't know how easy I'm going to be able to show you. There's just lots of stuff. This one's got a little bit of baling twine that we can actually see, but there's also other stuff that's just up in here and tangled round the blades, or rather tangled round the bit where the blades move. And over time it's just accumulated in there, and I could feel it when I used the mower, just having a little bit less grunt with the actual blades over time. And so what we need to do, we need to take all the blades off. There's 3 of them under there. Take them all off, clean them out, just make sure that they're all free of anything that's obstructing them, and then put them back on. To do that, we need to take the deck off, and taking the deck off is we've done it 3 times. And one time we did it, it came off like a dream. It was super simple. But because we do it so rarely, we never remember the easy way of doing it, and even though we Google it, etc. But so we'll have to take the deck off, clean out all round the blades, and then at that point put the new belt on. So we won't do any of this now, we'll do it when we've got the new belt. So maybe tomorrow evening, we'll see. And then it should... Sorry, love?
Nothing. Just looking forward to that.
It should run a lot better. So that's the end of Tractor Gate for the day, at least, and we'll come back on Monday. The biggest concern was, if it was something we couldn't do ourselves, there's going to be a huge wait, because it's the middle of June. Everybody's getting their mowers out and stuff, so the place that we would normally go to service it, they're going to be chock-a-block with a backlog of people that have booked stuff in. So that's really good that we can fix it ourselves. Right, I'm going to put the mower away, and then we'll go on to the next job.
Tell you what I put in the pond.
No, tell me what you put in the pond.
Well, a lot of tadpoles.
Yeah?
And a couple frogs.
Tadpoles and frogs?
A couple dead ones.
A couple dead ones? Where are they from?
And
Ah, awesome.
that big tub.
Awesome. So we've got a bit of a family expedition now. Between my wife and I, we've decided that we're going to do something with the ponds. And my wife's taken the lead, and she's going to charge forward with it. We're not going to... We're kind of moving the finish line. We're not aiming for quite such an elaborate affair. We were originally going to have 3 ponds that had an aquaculture system. One would pump into the top one, and then it would trickle down through gravity into the other 2. And I've dug the ponds, and we've got the pump, but that's as far as we've got, and we've kind of stalled on it. So my wife's basically fed up with us stalling on it, so she's going to do a little bit of work on them. And my son, Rockus, is coming to just help his dad do whatever I get up to, and that's a Father's Day present, so that's pretty cool. We're going to do a little bit of weeding on the vegetable bed, but there's not a lot to do there, to be fair. Got 2 green woodpeckers. There's a green woodpecker in each of these 2 lime trees closest to us, so you might spot them as they fly off as we walk a bit closer. There you go, there's one. You see him on that top rail? So yeah, first thing I'm going to do is come up and have a look at the ponds with my wife, but before I even get there, I'm just going to quickly feed the pigs. So we're up at the ponds, the legendary ponds. I've mentioned them on the podcast several times as like this mythical project that I started and just never got finished. So we've got one here, quite a big one, quite deep at the back. Second one over there, a little bit smaller, and then a smaller one down here. And they've just got overgrown. I dug them all out, and I've lined them with this plastic. But then what happened, we had geese here, and the geese would just, with their claws, just scratch through the plastic. And they were just constantly getting pierced. So all the plastic has just been cut up and is no use. I've kind of got a plan insofar as, you know, really long term, to line them much the same as I've lined a pond at my brother-in-law's. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's quite a project. It's a really big project, and when I'm going to get the time or the money to buy the materials to do that is, you know, an unknown. So in the meantime, this one back here is, you know, holding water, so we're going to fill that. And we've been given, or we found someone was giving away this little pond, a little GRP pond. So we're going to put that in the place of the small one and just fill in round it. So we're going to have 2 up and running, and then we're probably just going to fill this one in with grass and what have you, just to tidy it up a little bit. So this area looks a little bit tidier because my wife's basically had enough of it, is the honest truth. She quite liked it when all the weeds were growing around it and the wildflowers were growing around it, but I'm just really nervous about allowing the area to become too overgrown, so I hacked a lot of them back, and that was a step too far. My wife really didn't like it, and yeah, so, you know, here's where we are. It's a compromise about trying to manage the space with a sort of long-term view and long-term projects that may or may not get finished for the next year or two, and at the same time balancing the maintenance work and the look of it and everything else, and, you know, the wildlife management. We've got so much wild habitat here that the actual amount of wild habitat isn't something that concerns me. You know, there is so much of it, and but we've got these hazels that I planted for future cropping and coppicing. So these, when we put these in, they were tiny, and they were all becoming a bit overgrown, and I wanted them to thrive, really. You see, they've got bindweed climbing up them. I think we should get some hazelnuts this year from these if the squirrels don't get there first. So it's about managing this area, and I don't know. If you asked me now to predict what this is going to look like in 6 months' time, I wouldn't be able to predict it. It could be anything. We'll just have to see. But I definitely want ponds here. So we'll just see how it goes. So we've made a decision, at least for the time being. We're actually going to finish these 2 ponds and not worry too much about this one. We might fill this one in, but it's going to give us a manageable target that we can get to. So that's what we're going to aim for. And but that's all I'm going to do on this today, because I've got a live stream. We're recording in, I don't know, about 20 minutes, and I'm filthy, so I'm going to go in and get a shower. So we've had a slight change of plan. My daughter has suggested, because it's Father's Day, I can't believe it really, it was her suggestion. It's the first and probably only time that it will ever be suggested by Fian, but she suggested that we go on a family walk foraging for mushrooms. Yeah, we're going on a family mushroom forage. But I won't be able to do too much filming because it's not about that. It's about me spending some time with my kids. And but I will share anything exciting with you, I'm sure. All dressed and ready to go. Are you coming, Tar? Oh wow, all my kids are coming. So yeah, so really it's going to be a treat for Jackie as well. Because me and the 3 children are going to go on a walk, and Jackie's going to have a little bit of peace and quiet for a change, which she doesn't get very often, not as often as I do. So it's going to work out just right for everyone. Just found this beauty. Look at him. Look at that. Okay, so we've just got back, and it was a great walk. It was lovely, actually, to me and the kids and the dogs. We don't very often do things like that, all of us, and you know, quite often with 1 or 2, but very rarely do all 3 want to come. So that was a real treat. So I've just got back in time now to go and milk the goats, and I promised you earlier that I was going to tell you a little story about our goat collars. So I was given this morning, which was absolutely delightful and so thoughtful, a present from my daughter of 2 new goat collars. These guys, and they're really heavy duty. They're going to put up with quite a bit of you know, wear and tear that they'll get with the bigger animals. The reason that we are, or that I am, finding myself in need of a couple of goat collars, and they were over by the stand because I'm actually 15 minutes later than usual. It's 4:15, so they were definitely due. Look at them. I'm coming, girls. I'm coming now. Basically, through the spring we had quite a few problems with the goats and we had to call the vet out a few times, and I had one of the goats tethered to a fence, to the fence just there when the vet came, and we were trying to catch the other one, and the one that was tethered to the fence, we got a bit too close, or rather the vet did, and she recognised the vet and was like, I'm having none of this, I am gone. And she just took off and was like, bang, snapped the collar. It's just gone. Because up until today, we've only ever used, and I'll show you, quite, light duty, for want of a better word, cheap collars. This is the collars that we've always used. And as you can see, they're really just light duty, cheap, and it was the clasp that broke. The little plastic clasp snapped off. And this is the collar that was on the other goat that day. So what I did is I took it off and attached it permanently to the milking stand so that whichever goat went up there, I could clip them in using this collar. But as of today, we can go back to them having one collar each, 2 different colours, which my wife likes because that's how she differentiates them from a distance. So yeah, what a lovely present. So you've seen me milk the goats plenty of times, guys. So I'm going to wrap this video up here, and I'll speak to you all really soon, I'm sure. Please make sure you press that like button if you haven't already. Please subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment down below. And with that, I'll say goodbye and speak to you really soon. Cheers.